Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Derek Lildar. I'm a partner account manager at Sage, and today I want to talk to you about the benefits of cloud-based financial management systems. Now, I've been with Sage for over 15 years and I've worked on various solutions. I've worked with mainly on-premise solutions and hybrid solutions and now cloud-based solutions, in this case, Sage Intacct. And there's a huge benefit of to moving to the cloud, and that's really where I want to talk to you about what are those benefits when you are in using a cloud-based financial management solution. So we're at a tipping point, and the experts at Gartner looked at this trend and looked at it back in 2015 and saw that we were about 30% of companies out there were adopting cloud-based, SaaS-based technology. And that has increased up to about 47% this year. So those companies that have moved up will continue to move and more adopt more and more cloud-based technologies. And we'll see that trend continue to happen all the way through 2025, where the dominant financial solution will be cloud-based. Now, one of the reasons for that is because the cloud has matured, and cloud-based financial management systems for especially the large and mid-sized businesses has really come to a point where companies can utilize it. They have stronger accounting financial abilities. They have the reporting, the dashboards, everything that you're looking for in a financial solution, but all of that is in the cloud. And of course, companies out there on older technologies now, we're going to start moving forward because might be on an older legacy technology. And the next step, instead of moving to a newer on-premise solution, the next step would be to move to a cloud-based solution, just to make sure you're keeping up and you're future-proofing your business. Mobile access at any time. That's the number one benefit for this. So when we look at this, a lot of you might say, "Well, I can do this today because I have my solution in a cloud or in a data center, and I can access it." But a lot of things that you don't need when you're using real, true cloud-based solutions. You won't need a Windows PC-based device anymore. Basically, you can use any device when a true cloud solution. So whether that's a tablet, your MacBook, your iPhone, if that's what you wanted to use. You can look up reports, do approvals, all of that on your personal devices. And the nice thing about that, you can do it from anywhere at any time. So you're not restricted to going into an office to get some of your tasks done. And especially where we're sitting at today in 2020 here, during this COVID lockdown, a lot of us are not going into the office on a regular basis, and we still need to continue to do business and get things done. Cloud allows that to happen. SaaS-based technology allows that to happen. There is no need to manage and maintain software on the personal devices. So you're not maintaining, software on your laptop. Basically, you just need a web browser with an internet connection, and you can log in and use the system that way. Cost and time effective solution. So cost is the big factor here. So what is the cost? And that's the one question I always get asked is, what's the cost of moving to the cloud? Well, when you compare that to what's the cost of your hardware cost, your IT cost, and how much of that can you reduce by moving to the cloud? So that server can typically be at your office, or you may be paying for it and putting it into a data center. So either way, there's a cost associated to that. Wanting to reduce the maintenance cost of that hardware. So how often do you update that server? Is it every 5 years? Maybe it's 10 years. But at the end of the day, I see that that's getting faster and faster just because technology is changing and rapidly changing faster and faster. So if you don't have to own that hardware and you're going to get cutting edge, leading edge hardware technology in the cloud without having to pay for that upfront, that might be of a huge benefit for you, instead of having all of that hardware on premise that you have to maintain yourself. Okay, so online accounting software is entirely in the cloud, and that's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about a hybrid type solution where you own some of it and it's partly in the cloud and you partly have to maintain some of it. I'm talking about a true SaaS-based solution where everything is in the cloud. What that means to you is that the IT infrastructure is going to be gone. There's going to be no downtime, so there's no one saying to you that you need to shut it down for the weekend so we can do an upgrade, we can do some patches, we can get the security all put together. None of that's happening. It's all going to continue to run seamlessly in the cloud. The nice thing about when it's in the cloud, like I said in the first slide, is that you can do things from anywhere at any time. So doing approvals, looking up invoices, you don't have to be in the office. You don't have to wait till you get into the office to get those things done. You can do those things from home, from your kitchen table, from anywhere. All right, security is another question that always comes up whenever I'm talking to folks about cloud-based technology. And they're always wanting to know, how secure is it? What about my backups? And at the end of the day, that is all done for you. All of that stuff is taken care of for you. Like I said, a true SaaS-based, cloud-based solution means that all the backups are done and you have military level security. What does that mean? Well, do you bank online? And if you do you trust that banking solution? Do you trust the banks to keep all of your money for you electronically and being able to calculate all of that for you, and manage your bill payments, manage everything for you basically? And if you do, and you're able to log in online and you're comfortable with that, you should be comfortable logging into your financial systems. When it comes to backups, there are multiple data centers that the data gets backed up into. So if anything happens to one, you have access to that data at any point in time. Um, so things like doing your backups, where you might be doing it once a week, or you may have it backed up to another device, that's going to be gone. The other thing about in-house servers, in-house systems, is that you are going to be prone to cyber threats like ransomware. You might be prone to. And I don't know if any of you have ever have been attacked by ransomware. I do know of a couple of customers that I've spoken to that have been attacked by ransomwares and had to pay out a large sum of money to get access back to their data. And this is a real threat in today's world. So having data in-house is not necessarily the best, because you may have it, it may be on older hardware. Older hardware may have some potential holes in there that allows threats to get through. Maybe on, your software may not be updated regularly. Compare that to a cloud-based solution, a pure cloud-based solution. All that is going to be managed for you. Like I said, there's a team of cybersecurity folks that all their job is to continue to maintain and manage the security of your data. Cloud-based accounting systems are protected from natural disasters, right? Because the data are in multiple data centers, and those data centers are backed up between each other, which allows that if something happens to one data center, right, we don't have to worry about it, because the other data center is going to be up and running, and you still have access to your data. Now, if you have if you have all of your data sitting in your office, and there was a hurricane that came through, a tornado that came through, any natural disaster, and takes away all of your data, if you don't have it backed up, and if you don't have it backed up off site, you're probably losing a lot of your data and a lot of your business, and you're trying to, now you're going to be struggling to recreate all of that data. So those are some of the things you want to think about when you're thinking of security and data backups. Real-time updates, absolutely. So the nice thing about cloud technology is that you have everything in real time. It's all there for you. So your financial data can be looked at anytime from anywhere, and you get an up-to-date view of your current financial situation. The nice thing about that too is that it gives you the ability to manage your business better. It gives you better agility to make those decisions, to make changes. So think about this: when we entered at the beginning of 2020, and we all ended up in this this COVID pandemic that we're in now, how did you pivot your company? How did you change it? You had to send employees home. How did you continue to move your business forward? What actions did you take, and how did your financial solution help you do that? Was it easy for you to do? Was it hard? I'll tell you, if you talk to any of the customers who are already using Sage Intacct, they said it was seamless transition. They went home, they continued to work, they had all the built-in tools, the communication tools that were all built in, that they can continue to use to connect with their colleagues, to connect with their customers. They didn't have an issue. There was very little disruption to their business because they were on Intacct, and they were able to continue to do business because they were on Intacct. And because of this, I've seen that trend where more and more companies are calling me and asking me about moving to Intacct. They have the ability to make those decisions quickly and make changes to and alterations to their business to continue to make it profitable and relevant in today's world. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, can I integrate to Sage Intacct? And the answer is absolutely yes. So great cloud-based accounting systems allow you to integrate any add-ons you have. It could be an existing solution that you're already using, an operational solution. It might be a new one that you're looking for in the marketplace. So Sage Intacct has a marketplace of third-party solutions that you can purchase and integrate. It allows for best breed. So if you're using a tool or a solution right now that does wonders for your business and you need to keep that, but you wanted to integrate to the best accounting solution, Sage Intacct gives you the ability to do that. All right, another key important area here is maintaining relationships, sharing and collaborating with your customers, with your colleagues, with your vendors. Definitely important to keep your business running. So again, we're sitting in a COVID pandemic where most of us are working from home. And because we're working from home, we're not in an office, so we're a little disconnected from our colleagues. But we need to keep business going and we need to communicate with each other. And to do this, Sage Intacct gives you the tools to be able to do this. And we have things like built-in chats, note tracking abilities, and the ability to communication logs. And all of that gives you the ability to stay closely connected with your employees, but at the same time allows you to stay connected with your customers and your vendors. So being able to, look up customer information very quickly, locate invoices, bills, send it out to your customers as quick as they need. Being able to communicate with your finance team. Maybe you're a salesperson and you're looking to get an approval for a customer. Wouldn't it be nice to just send a built-in chat or put in a note into their system, and when someone from finance hits approve, once it's approved, it goes to sales op, and sales op knows that they can process the order without having to make a bunch of phone calls or emails to track down an approval to get an order through the system. Think of the customer experience. You can get that customer signed off and processed a lot faster and not having to wait days or even weeks to process that order. So great customer experiences. And that's what being able to do that. So in business, we all know our customers are gold, and we want to make sure that we do the right thing and do the best to our abilities to make sure we manage those customer relationships. And what cloud-based technology does, because it allows everyone to communicate easily, it is a great tool to allow you to maintain those relationships with your customers and your colleagues. Okay, future benefits. Actually, it's the near future benefits. And I say near futures because it really is almost here. A lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about. Some of it is actually here already, and we can see it in a lot of different areas. And the future benefits are things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, cognitive computing. Those are some of the areas that sound like they're far into the future, but they're really not. They're actually near future, because some of that we see it today in a lot of different areas. We may not necessarily see it in our financial accounting system today, but we do see it in a lot of different areas. So if any of you have smartphones, see it in there for sure. You see it with your smart assistants like your Google or Alexa. You definitely will see that intelligence all built in. I'm now seeing it in cars where they have these intelligence built into your cars that can do a lot for you, diagnose your car, tell you when you need to do your oil change, tell you a lot of different things. So there's a lot of great things that machine learning and cognitive computing can do for you. And when it comes to financials, you're going to start seeing it a lot more. You're going to see continuous accounting and auditing. What does that mean, continuous accounting and auditing? Well, those days where you're now setting a month aside to do an audit to make sure and spot checking your transactions to make sure that everything was done correctly, those are going to be gone, because with continuous auditing, this computer, the artificial intelligence will audit every single transaction for you. So and now it's not a spot check of a few sample transactions. It's everything in your data that's being entered will be audited all the time for you and continuously for you as you're entering in that data. A lot of that's going to help you reduce errors, going to help you improve your financials by giving you real-time data entry fixes. So for an example, what does that mean for the real-time data entry fix? Say you're entering a new transaction and you're posting it to an account. The system could have a pop-up message saying to you, hey, I notice you're putting this into account 123. In the past, you've done this transaction with another account. Are you sure that's the account you want to use? And you can choose to say, yeah, that's the account, or hey, no, that's your correct computer. That's not the account. And of course, if it's not the account, that helps you reduce human errors. So those are some of the things that can actually help improve the way you do computing and reducing a lot of human errors that are caused by just regular data entry. One of the other new things I've seen with this when it comes to data entry, and I've seen where you can get data feeds from other businesses. So your vendors, your customers, you may get an invoice, a statement from, or these data feeds. And these robots, these not really a physical robot, but a virtual robot that's a computerized robot, which can take that data and key it in to the system as if a human was keying it in. And the nice thing about that, it's going to look at that invoice and analyze it and pick up all the areas that it needs to and be able to key that in for you without you having someone do it for you. And of course, that's going to reduce the amount of errors that a typical human would have doing it. Now, it sounds like it's going to eliminate some jobs, but at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily eliminate jobs. It actually will end up creating different types of jobs that people would have to be doing. And if you think of 20 years ago, if anyone had said to you, hey, what do you think about me getting a job as a cybersecurity person? And I'd be saying, what is cybersecurity? I don't know what that term is. And today, I think we all know what cybersecurity means. So there will be new jobs that are going to be created for different people in different areas in financials. The other part there is continuous security monitoring, right? So you want to make sure your system is always being monitored, and the security of your system and your data is always being maintained, and that's something that intelligent machines will do for us. The other area is complying with government regulations. So complying with government regulations is definitely key as we become more and more computerized. Our data becomes more it's being stored in the cloud, and we become more of a global society, which we are pretty much there. So regulations like GDPR, Global Data Privacy Regulation, those are type of regulations that have come into play where we have to protect our customers' data, our employees' data. And those type of regulations, or you're going to need systems that make sure that we're managing those correctly and that we are taking the precautions needed to secure those types of data. Sage Intacct does that for you, and a lot of cloud-based solutions will do that for you. So all of that's going to reduce your liability, reduce any issues that you may have with being non-compliant with government regulation. So that's something you want to think about. The other area that's in the near future is the changing demographics. And again, we're sitting here in 2020, and 2025, 5 years from now, you're going to see 75% of the workforce being millennials. So you probably say to yourself, so what? What's the big deal if we have 75% of them are millennials? Well, it is somewhat of a big deal. And if you think about that generation of the workforce and those kids and how they grew up, and what the technologies that they were using when they were younger versus what we were using when we were younger, it's going to be different. They've grown up with computers. They've actually grown up with cell phones, smartphones, and all sorts of smart devices, and just easy, intuitive type solutions that they've used all their life, whether it's social media solutions like Facebook and those type of solutions, to all sorts of gaming platforms and things that they've used. Now, not to say that getting into financial solutions is a game for them, but they want to see things that are intuitive to use, and that's what they're used to, and that's the easiest way to put it. So if you're a business and you want to have the best and the brightest talent working for you, you probably want to be able to recruit them and keep them. And to do that, you're going to need some of the newest technologies to do that, because that's what's going to make sense to them. So the world is changing, and we need to change with them. So those are some of the things I wanted to add to what are the benefits of being in a cloud-based solution. And there's probably a lot more that I haven't mentioned, but moving into the cloud will allow us to continue to move our businesses forward, to continue to grow your business, to be relevant, and to be successful as you move into the future.